We are entering a new time. Anybody who is paying attention knows that. I've never in my lifetime seen something so close to being a John F. Kennedy moment as the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. I have seen an assassination attempt on Ronald Reagan. It either, history shows, it comes from one of three groups. Either crazies, John Hinckley, or wound up communists, anarchists, socialists. Comes from the left, or it comes from Palestinian zealots. That's just a fact. We have all of those zealots at a zenith of power right now. And they are wound tight as a drum. Our media doesn't really care. When they targeted, and I use that word, when they targeted Sarah Palin for using the word targeted, we're targeting these districts. When Gabby Giffords was shot, they made a really big deal out of it. I mean, do you remember what they put her through? But now they don't seem to care at all about their language. Now, after 2 assassination attempts. Here is we put a montage together of their rhetoric against Donald Trump for the last few years. Listen to this. Cut 2, please.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I believe that Trump poses a fundamental threat to America.
Trump is as destructive a person in this century as Hitler, Stalin, and Mao were in the last century.
President Trump is dangerous to America and the future of America.
We need to articulate the fact that Donald Trump is a danger to America.
He must go. He is a clear and present danger to the nation.
Donald Trump is a fascist leader, and he's mobilizing his forces.
Donald Trump is a genuine threat to this nation. He's a threat to our freedom. He's a threat to our democracy.
He is not only unfit, he is destructive to our democracy, and he has to be eliminated.
The existential threat to the United States of America is Donald Trump.
I see Trump as a danger to our democracy, and I see him as a self-proclaimed fascist.
Trump is an existential threat to the future of America.
David Aronovich, who presents Radio 4's Briefing Room show, took to X/Twitter and wrote, "If I was Biden, I'd hurry it up and have Trump murdered on the basis that he is a threat to America's security."
So there's assassination attempt number 1 after years of indoctrination that he is Hitler. If you really believe he's Hitler, I mean, people have played that little game even when we were kids. If you could go back and assassinate Hitler as a baby, would you do it? Of course I'd do it. Well, here's Hitler about to take power. If you listen to them, that's what you believe. So of course you're going to wind up nut jobs to go out and try to shoot. Now, they immediately said, after the last assassination attempt, they said, we've got to, will anybody, tone down the rhetoric? Well, let's see. Did they tone down the rhetoric? This is the rhetoric since the first assassination. Cut 1.
We're here to say fuck Trump, fuck MAGA, the whole agenda, the whole fascist.
What do you think about the attempted assassination of Donald Trump on Saturday?
It was this close. We could have lived in a timeline where Trump would be dead, and for me, that would have been okay.
It's too bad the bandage was just over his ear. It should have been over his mouth.
I think what every
fabric of my body that Donald Trump represents a threat to the Constitution of the United States.
Look, are they a threat to democracy? Yes. Are they going to take our rights away? Yes.
In his threats, against democracy, I think it's important to, turn the page.
He will focus on Donald Trump's threat to American democracy.
He feels very strongly that Donald Trump is a threat to our democracy.
So Donald Trump was recently shot at one of his rallies. How do you feel about that?
I wish he would have gotten shot in the forehead.
Donald Trump is dangerous, and because he's dangerous, Project 2025 is dangerous.
Right now, I feel like MAGA in general, they are threats to us domestically, and we see it time and time again.
Okay, so that's them toning things down. Eden Pure is having their famous buy one, get one deal on the Thunderstorm air purifiers. No matter how many thunderstorms you buy, you'll get an equal amount for free. There's nothing worse than having odors in your house. Have you ever walked into somebody's house and you're like, oh, wow, you either have a cat or a teenager. Thankfully, you can get rid of any bad smell now when you get the Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifier. Whether it's odor from cooking, cigarettes, litter box, trash cans, or teenagers, it doesn't matter. Thunderstorm will knock it out. It starts working in seconds to clear a room of smells, and you don't ever have to replace a filter. And it doesn't cover the odors. It actually purifies the air. They've sold hundreds of thousands of Thunderstorm units so far, and they have thousands of 5-star reviews online. I want you to go right now to EdenPureDeals.com and use the discount code BECKBOGO. Yesterday, just before the news broke, Kamala Harris was speaking at a rally, and she said Donald Trump must never again be allowed to stand behind a microphone or the seal of the President of the United States. Now, you could say when she said stand behind the seal of the President of the United States that she was just saying that we can't allow him to be elected, go out and get the vote. But for a man to never be allowed to stand behind a microphone, how exactly do you do that? Do you throw him in prison? Oh, yeah, they're trying to do that. Or do you just kill him? And I would say, yeah, they're trying to do that as well. How did they respond yesterday? Let's go to cut 3. Here's MSNBC. Yesterday.
The demonization of the other side, where we simply, it's no longer politics. It's gotten, bigger than that. The calls for violence, the violence, rhetoric that, and then you look at what happens, and it, this heated rhetoric can only go so far before, unfortunately, it has led to violence on both sides of the aisle. And so I think it's just something that Democrats and Republicans have to be.
Let me just ask you a question. So, are you saying that Donald Trump is ratcheting up the rhetoric, which then his people use to go and try to kill him? Because that doesn't make any sense. He's ratcheting up the rhetoric. No, I've heard him talk about facts. I've heard him talk about facts like she grew up a Marxist and she's lying to you. And if you had a non-state press, which ABC is now, you have to stop thinking of these people as press. They are one in the same. They are Pravda. They are a government propaganda arm. That is clear. If you would have had a fair debate, you would have had a few things corrected. But what was happening? Well, what happened in that debate was exactly what Kamala Harris said would happen, but she accused Donald Trump of being the one that would do it. She said, you're going to hear nothing but name-calling. You're going to hear lies and smears. And that's exactly what she did the whole time, because her whole strategy was to piss him off. I don't know if name calling counts when you just say somebody's weak, you're weak, you're weak, you're pathetic, you're weak. She was egging him on. Now, if that's the person that wants to be the leader of the free world, that's interesting. That's interesting. Now, you can say, well, Donald Trump did that. Yes, but you hated that when he did it. So why have you gone down to his level if that's what you think? Well, it's the only way to win. Oh, so you believe the ends justify the means. I don't believe that. I don't like things that Donald Trump has said in the past. I don't hear him say these things anymore. I think the man has changed. I know him. I would consider him a friend now. I didn't like him at first. Well, actually, I liked him at first. And then I thought he was playing me, which he wasn't. I really thought he was playing me. I have learned that's who this guy is. And then, what did he do? He got into office. And what did he do? He made America better. He ended the wars. He was unwinding things rationally. He was exposing the lies of the deep state that you now know exists. I mean, the whole Russian collusion thing, even the media has mentioned it, that it was a lie. They're still giving you the same crap. They're still talking to the same insiders in the intelligence community tell us. They're still using the same sources, but they had to admit that, yes, those sources were lying. So while they said that he was a Russian asset, well, they said that he was doing all kinds of things that he shouldn't have been doing, that nothing was ever proven. In fact, you know the guy who came out on the perfect phone call, Ukraine, that everybody just loves so much? He was the perfect whistleblower. Vindman. Oh my gosh, he was great. We got to listen to Vindman, right? Right? We have to listen to him, right? You know, his brother is running for office in Virginia. His brother, Vindman. You vote for Vindman, you should have your head examined. But Vindman actually came out, the wife of Vindman, came out this weekend and said, carry on with your Sunday afternoon. No ears were harmed. That was her response. She doubled down after a congressman came out and said, that's probably not the right thing to do. You probably shouldn't vote for the brother. She doubled down. She said, I condemn you. I condemn your lack of integrity, your attacks on immigrants, your desecration of Arlington National Cemetery. Really? I was with the families this weekend. I was with them. I want you to meet them. They're amazing. They're not anti-Democrat, anti-Republican, anti-anything. They are just pro the truth. And they have been smeared and destroyed. And they asked Donald Trump to go to Arlington National Cemetery. They asked him. He did. These people they're nuts. And, many of our families have been infected by this. But I urge you before you concentrate on anybody else, concentrate on yourself. Clean out your own house. Make sure that your house is in order. Make sure that you have nothing that you are doing that is against, common sense, against the teachings of Christ. Clean it all out. Whatever you're doing, stop it right now. Clean it out. Finish it, put it in the past, repent, and prepare yourself. Have to. I firmly believe, and everybody said this from the dawn of time, and they've been wrong every time. So I'm most likely wrong. Probably 99% chance I'm wrong. But I think the Lord is coming. And you have to choose which side you're on. I'm not on Donald Trump's side. I'm on the Lord's side. And the Lord will use anyone, as flawed as they are, if they just will stand up. Just stand up and protect what is right, no matter how flawed they are. Martin Luther King was a very flawed man. He stood up and did what was right. This guy's not going to stop. He doesn't need it for his family. He doesn't certainly need it for his business. He doesn't need it for money. He doesn't need it for fame. Why the hell is this guy running? Why the hell is this guy? They tried to kill him now twice, almost killed him the first time, and he stood up and looked at the audience and said, fight. Yesterday, his response was, I'm just going to play through. No, Mr. President, we need to get you off the golf course. Why?